Giridvaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Giridvaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Thira Vanachari Jamuna Thira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Giridvaradhari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Giridvaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Thira Vanachari Jamuna Thira Vanachari Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jai Radha Shama Sundaradha, Shama Sundarati. Jai Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Gaura Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gau Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today's special day, the appearance day, or not the appearance day, of Srimad Bhagavatam Bhadra Purnima, but also today is the day that Srila Prabhupada took Tridandi Sannyas. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Srila Prabhupada, as we hear in Lilamrita, he was retired and preparing, writing Back to Godhead magazine, and also went from Vangshi, Gopalji temple, was invited to come to Radha Damodar temple, where Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami were great inspiration. And also he was offered in Chippiwada a room, and he was convinced that he needs to write Srimad Bhagavatam, or a big book. Librarian told him, and also an officer from the army saw that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is inspiring through these people that he should write books. Magazines, people read them 1 or 2 days and then they toss them, but the books they keep. And Prabhupada thought, what better book than Srimad Bhagavatam? And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta did their Bengali translations and commentaries from all the acharyas. So Srila Prabhupada, following in the footsteps and under the order of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he took up the mission of starting Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I couldn't replicate this, so I thought better I read a little bit of the Lilamrita. It's quite a bit. Abai composed a Bengali poem, Brindavan Bhajan. Its opening stanzas were especially self-reflective and personal. 1. I am sitting alone in Brindavan Dham. In this mood, I'm getting many realizations. I have my wife, sons, daughters, grandsons, everything, but I have no money, so they are a fruitless glory. Krishna has shown me the naked form of material nature. By his strength, it has all become tasteless to me today. Yasyaham anugranami harishye tad danangshanai. I gradually take away all the wealth of those upon whom I am merciful. How was I able to understand this mercy of the all-merciful? Everyone has abandoned me, seeing me penniless. Wife, relatives, friends, brothers, everyone. This is misery, but it gives me a laugh. I sit alone and laugh. In this Maya Samsara, whom do I really love? Where have my loving father and mother gone now? And where are all my elders who are my own folk? Who will give me news of them? Tell me who. All that is left of this family life is a list of names. As the froth on the seawater mixes again in the sea, Maya Sansara's play is just like that. No one is mother or father or personal relatives. Just like the sea foam, they remain but a short time, just as the froth on seawater mixes again in the sea. The body made of 5 elements meets with destruction. How many bodies does the embodied soul take in this way? His relatives are all related merely to the temporal body. But everyone is your relative, brother, on the spiritual platform. This relationship is not tinged with the smell of Maya. The Supreme Lord is the soul of everyone. In relation to Him, everyone in the universe is the same. All your relatives, brothers, all the billions of jivas, when seen in relation to Krishna, they are all in harmony. Forgetting Krishna, the jiva desires sense gratification. As a result, he is firmly grasped by Maya. Srila Prabhupada's only 62, and he's in Brindavan and contemplating the order of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, that he takes the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the West. More nectar, very nice. Abai looked back on the more than 20 years since his spiritual master's disappearance. The Gaudiya Math had been undone by its leaders, and everyone else had scattered like leaves in a storm. It was an unspeakable loss. It was an old story of how the big sannyasis had disregarded their spiritual master's instructions and had intrigued, disputed, litigated, violent party factions, false leaders claiming to be world acharyas. And which party had been right? No, both had been wrong, all wrong. Because the Gaudiya Math had disintegrated. Now there were dozens of little maths and no preaching, no real preaching as before, when he, Singha Guru, had cast fear into the Mayavadis, had held an army of young, powerful preachers to march throughout India and the world. And the greatest sufferers of the Gaudiya Math dissolution were the people, the non-devotees, who had little hope of being delivered from the batterings of Maya. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had begun a spiritual revolution, but that revolution had now been overthrown by Maya. The scattered particles of the Gaudiya Math had settled quietly into self-satisfied, insular, almost impotent units. And it was the people in general who suffered. Abai groped after memories of his spiritual master. He felt secure in that his own relationship with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was intact, continuing, yet he felt helpless. He was diligently pursuing his spiritual master's order to preach in English, yet without his spiritual master's physical presence, he felt small and very much alone. At times like this, he questioned the wisdom of having left his family and business. Lamenting Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's absence and the fall of the Gaudiya Math, he composed a Bengali poem, Viraha Ashtaka. Srila Prabhupada, you are always compassionate towards the suffering jiva souls. On this occasion of your separation, I see only dejection, an unlimited ocean of mercy cutting on an illusion. Nityananda distributed an ocean of flood of love of God. The Jati Gosai stopped the stream. But coming yourself, Lord, you revealed this illusion. So once again, everyone was immersed in the flood of love, even one so fallen, insignificant, and sinful as I. On the strength of Lord Chaitanya's order, you sent all your servants door to door as gurus. There was preaching everywhere from the sea to the Himalayas. Now in your absence, everything is darkness. O Srila Prabhupada, you're always compassionate towards the suffering jiva souls. On this occasion of your separation, I see only dejection. In the same way that Advaita Prabhu brought Lord Gora, so did Bhakti Vinod pray. His enthusiasm brought you. On the strength of his enthusiasm, you came and made everyone understand that India is a holy land. One who takes his birth in the land of Bharat must make his life perfect and then preach to others. This Maha Mantra message you preached everywhere. Now in your absence, Lord, everything is darkness. Your ocean of compassion has again been stopped. This spear of great misery has cut through my heart. Without Lord Chaitanya's message, there's just confusion. Seeing this, all the Vaishnavas feel pangs of separation. The conditioned souls are all in darkness once again. They are searching for peace, but are dying in an ocean of anxiety. O Srila Prabhupada, you're always compassionate toward the suffering jiva souls. On this occasion of your separation, I see only dejection. It was the appearance or disappearance of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati and Srila Prabhupada, naturally expressing his concerns. Abai's was a dark view. The golden era of preaching that had flourished in the days of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was no longer. By the influence of Maya, Abai wrote, now everything is darkness. All devotional instructions have been destroyed. Now everything has been reversed. Meditating on that great personality, possessed of the divine power to save the entire world, Abai expresses feelings of weakness and helplessness. Because of those not fixed in devotional service, many branches have spread all over. Your conclusive message did not touch the ear. Where will I get the strength for the Sankirtan movement? How could he, a tiny spiritual child, survive without his spiritual father? Now, who could save the world, which was so much more oppressed than ever before? The Vedic standard and the example set by the previous acharyas was that if one wanted to lead a preaching movement, sannyas was required. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta had taken sannyas to facilitate his missionary work. Lord Chaitanya had taken sannyas to further the Sankirtan movement. Of course, Lord Chaitanya was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but when his young students had been disrespectful toward him, treating him as an ordinary man, he had taken sannyas, because a sannyasi is automatically respected. Lord Chaitanya's acceptance of sannyas was a calculated tactic. As soon as he began traveling throughout India as a sannyasi, he immediately attracted thousands of followers to the Sankirtan movement. Knowing that many cheaters would accept the saffron dress and abuse the respect given to sannyasis, Lord Chaitanya had advised against accepting sannyas in the age of Kali. He knew that cheaters in the guise of sadhus would act immorally, accumulate funds for their own sense gratification, and make many followers simply to enhance their own prestige. Posing as swamis, they would cheat the public. Because the people in Kali Yuga are unable to follow the rules and regulations of sannyas, Lord Chaitanya had recommended that they simply chant Hare Krishna. However, if a person could actually follow the rules, and especially if he had to spread the Sankirtan movement, sannyas was necessary. One night, Abai had a striking dream. The same dream he had had several times before, During his days as a householder, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati appeared just as Abai had known him, the tall, scholarly sannyasi coming directly from the spiritual world, from Krishna's personal entourage. He called to Abai and indicated he should follow. Repeatedly he called and motioned. He was asking Abai to take sannyas. Come, he urged, become a sannyasi. Abai awoke in a state of wonder. He thought of this instruction as another feature of the original instruction Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had given him at their first meeting in Calcutta, the same instruction that his spiritual master had later solidified in a letter. Become an English preacher and spread Krishna consciousness throughout the Western world. Sannyas was for that end. Otherwise, why would his spiritual master have asked him to accept it? Abai reasoned that his spiritual master was saying, now take sannyas and you will actually be able to accomplish this mission. Formally, the time was not right. Abai deliberated cautiously. By accepting sannyas, a Vaishnava dedicates his body, mind, and words totally to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, renouncing all other engagements. He was doing that already. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had offered sannyas to his leading disciples so they could continue his mission. They hadn't done it. Preaching in the West had proven perilous, even for the Gaudiya Math's most recognized sannyasis. How could he, a mere householder, presume he could succeed where the others had failed? He was hesitant. The helpless, incapable feeling he had expressed in his Varaha Ashtaka was there, but now his spiritual master was beckoning him over all other considerations, even over natural humility. Now, although he was elderly and alone, the desire to preach, just as his spiritual master had preached, remained within him. A fierce thought, sometimes quietly expressed determination. The Vedic standard and the example set by the previous acharyas was that if one wanted to lead a preaching movement, sannyas was required. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, I read that part already. Just see. So you go to Abai, next turn to Keshav Maharaj. First, Srila Prabhupada thought, let me approach the Chaitanya Math in Calcutta, the headquarters, Tito Maharaj. And he wrote a letter to Tito Maharaj that I want to consider taking sannyas and some of my publications be printed. And Tito Maharaj wrote that yes, you can come and live in the Math, and first we're printing the Goswami's books, various literatures, and then our editors will review your writings. If something is, and if there's money, then we'll print something, but first you spend some time serving in the Math, and then we'll see. Then Prabhupada felt that he didn't understand the urgency, that he's ready for taking this message to the English world, wanting to go to America to preach the message of Bhagavatam. But Tirtha Maharaj said, no, one should not take one's personal ambitions and, don't be overly enthusiastic. Just come and serve in due course of time. You can have a nice room and just serve the Chaitanya Math. But Prabhupada didn't feel that this was exactly where he wanted to be. So just go to Abai next turn to Keshav Maharaj. Where are you? And so Prabhupada instead, you lost it. I'll read, you can hear. Abai next turned to Keshav Maharaj in Mathura, and Keshav Maharaj told Abai to take sannyas immediately. You lost it? After corresponding with Tito Maharaj, Abai felt some uncertainty about accepting sannyas, and now that he was being encouraged so strongly, he resisted. But Keshav Maharaj was insistent, Srila Prabhupada. I was sitting alone, writing. My godbrother insisted to me, Bhaktivedanta Prabhu, you must do it. Without accepting the renounced order of life, nobody can become a preacher. So he insisted. Not he insisted, practically my spiritual master insisted. He wanted me to become a preacher. So he forced me through his godbrother, you accept. So I accepted. So Srila Prabhupada at the Radha Damodar temple approached Keshava Maharaj at the Keshava Gaudiya Math. So Keshava Gaudiya Math was located in the midst of one of Mathura's downtown bazaars. Its main entrance, an arched doorway, led into a courtyard open to the sky through a metal grating above. The architecture was similar to that of the Vangshi Gopalji temple. The atmosphere was secluded as in a monastery. Abai was a familiar, welcome figure here. He had lived here, written and studied in the library here, edited the Gaudiya Patrika, and donated the deity of Lord Chaitanya, who stood on the altar beside the deities of Radha and Krishna, Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihariji. But his visit during September of 1959 was not an ordinary one. He entered the math dressed in white, Abai Babu, but he was soon leaving dressed in saffron, a Swami. Abai had been living as a renunciate for 9 years. There was no need for him to observe a ceremony or to proclaim himself a sadhu by changing to saffron dress. But it was the parampara system that a man take Tridandi sannyas at the end of his life. He was aware of the cheating sannyasis. Even in Brindavan, he had seen so-called sadhus who did not preach but simply spent their days hunting for chapatis. Some swamis of Vrindavan even indulged illicitly in what they had supposedly come to reject, sex life. Such persons were making a mockery of sannyas. And there were the caste Goswamis also, who lived like ordinary householders, running temples as a business to support their families and accepting honor and donations from the public on the false basis of birth. Abai knew of these abuses of sannyas, but he also knew the real purpose of sannyas. Sannyas was for preaching. On the morning of September 17, 1959, in the 50 by 25 foot deity room on the second floor of the Keshavaji Math, a group of devotees sat before the deities of Radha Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. The deities were colorfully dressed in royal clothing and silver crowns. Radharani's right hand faced palm forward in benediction for the worshipper. At her side, her left hand held a flower for Krishna. Krishna stood like a dancer, placing his right leg in a classical tiptoe pose before his left, playing his long silver flute, which he held gracefully to his red lips. His long black hair reached down past his shoulders, and a garland of marigolds around his neck reached down to his knees. On his right stood the deity of Lord Chaitanya, his right arm raised, left arm at his side, his body straight, feet together. He was a soft, golden color, and he had large eyes, a well-formed red mouth, and straight black hair down to his shoulders. One level below the deities were pictures of spiritual masters in disciplic succession: Jagannath Das Babaji, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Gorkishore Das Babaji, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Bhakti Pragya Keshav Maharaj. Abai sat on a mat of kusha grass beside 90-year-old Sanatan, also to receive sannyas that day. Sitting opposite the two candidates, Narayan Maharaj, Keshav Maharaj, disciple, prepared to conduct the ceremony of mantras and offerings of grains and ghee into the fire. Akinchana Krishnadas Babaji, Abai's godbrother, known for sweet singing, played mridanga and sang Vaishnav bhajans, sitting on a raised asana. His Holiness Keshav Maharaj presided. Since there had been no notices or invitations, only the maths, few residents attended. Narayan Maharaj chanted the required mantras and then sat back silently while Keshav Maharaj lectured. Then, to everyone's surprise, Keshav Maharaj asked Abai to speak. Abai had not expected this. As he looked around at the gathering of devotees, he understood that the common language was Hindi. Only Keshav Maharaj and a few others spoke English. Yet he knew he must speak in English. After Abai's speech, each initiate received his sannyas danda, the traditional head-high staff made of 4 bamboo rods bound together and completely enwrapped in saffron cloth. They were given their sannyas garments, 1 piece of saffron cloth for a dhoti and 1 for a top piece, and 2 strips for underwear. They also received tulsi neck beads and the sannyas mantra. Keshav Maharaj said that Abai would now be known as Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. Vivo, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj ki. And that Sanatan would be known Muni Maharaj. After the ceremony, the 2 new sannyasis posed for a photo, standing on either side of their sannyas guru who sat in a chair. Keshav Maharaj didn't impose any strictures on Abai. He simply encouraged him to go on preaching. Yet Abai knew that to become A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami did not mean merely that he was giving up family, home comforts, and business that he had done 5 years ago. Changing from white cloth to saffron cloth, from Abai Babu to Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, had a special significance. It was the mandate he had required, the irrevocable commitment. Now it was only a matter of time before Bhaktivedanta Swami would travel to the West as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had ordained. This was Bhaktivedanta Swami's realization of his new sannyas status. The Gaudiya Patrika's account of the sannyas initiation included a biographical sketch of Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, listing the major events of his life. The article concluded, seeing his enthusiasm and ability to write articles in Hindi, English, and Bengali, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj gave him the instruction to take Tridandi sannyas. For nearly 1 year he had been ready to accept sannyas. In the month of Bhadra, on the day on which Vishwarupa accepted sannyas, Bhaktivedanta Swami at the Sri Keshavaji Gaudiya Math accepted sannyas from the founder of the Vedanta Samiti, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj. Seeing him accept his ashram of renunciation, seeing this pastime for accepting the renounced order of life, we have attained great affection and enthusiasm. And since it's Bhadra Purnima, I'll read this one last part here. It says, when a librarian advised Bhaktivedanta Swami to write books, they were permanent, whereas newspapers were read once and thrown away. He took it that his spiritual master was speaking through this person. Then an Indian army officer who liked Bhakti-God had suggested the same thing. Bhaktivedanta Swami took it as a revelation from his spiritual master. As a dependent servant, constantly meditating on the desires of his transcendental master and seeking his guidance, Bhaktivedanta Swami felt his spiritual master's reciprocal blessings and personal presence. More and more he was feeling confidential contact with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and now he was feeling an inspiration to write books. He considered Srimad Bhagavatam because it was the most important and authoritative Vaishnava scripture. Although Bhagavad Gita was the essence of all Vedic knowledge presented in a brief ABC fashion, Srimad Bhagavatam was elaborate. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and Bhaktivinoda Thakur had both written Bengali commentaries on the Bhagavatam. In fact, most of the great Vaishnava acharyas of the past had commented on Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya himself had recommended Srimad Bhagavatam as a spotless Vedic literature. An English translation and commentary for this book could one day change the hearts of the entire world. And if he could publish even a few books, his preaching would be enhanced. He could go abroad with confidence and not appear empty-handed. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we can see how Krishna is arranging everything for Srila Prabhupada to take the order of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, enduring so many trials and tribulations and difficulties. We think we have a hard time. Just see all the obstacles that came before. Srila Prabhupada, such a genius, prolific writer, and pure devotee, still he was penniless, and practically he would go to Delhi for printing back to Godhead and just depend on to stay at people's homes, and if he ate or didn't eat, it was not his main concern. But you can see how, despite the fact that he wanted to take sannyas from the Chaitanya Math in Calcutta, Tito Maharaj thought, no, you come and serve for some time and the management will figure out when we can actually give you sannyas or even print books or even send you to America. That's not our priority. But Srila Prabhupada felt the burning desire as his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, by his lion-like Singha preaching and how he was sending devotees from the ocean to the Himalayas, and how the Gaudiya Math was actually broadcasting the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srila Prabhupada was feeling pain in the heart that all the legalities and fighting and bickering over property and followers, and he even wrote, when after some time in a gathering for honoring Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's appearance day, Prabhupada wrote a very, very powerful message, how we're just spending time taking care of our own little necessities and no one has a preaching spirit, this combined effort. I know the GBC, Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta also wanted a GBC, a governing body commission, because it's a society. This International Society for Krishna Consciousness is Prabhupada's devotional service to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the 6 Goswamis, and miraculously, by Krishna's arrangement, there was one, I was following also a transcendental diary. Prabhupada was in New Vrindavan, and Kirtananda Maharaj, with all devotees, were showing him that they're making a palace for Prabhupada, and beautiful stained glass, and a lot of carving and artistic work. And he said, Prabhupada, we had no idea what we were doing, but somehow Prabhupada said, this is Krishna's intervention, Krishna's empowerment. He said, also, when I came to your country, I had no idea how am I going to spread this movement, this place of passion and ignorance and darkness. People have no interest in spiritual life. But somehow Krishna, and Prabhupada never forced, okay, these are the rules and regulations, you must do this and you shouldn't do that, just like Keshavaji Maharaj was not putting any restrictions on Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, because all the articles and the writings and his personal example of Vaishnava behavior, he could understand that this is a very competent person and very enthusiastic and fit for representing the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission. Also, when America, in the early days, his initiating sannyas guru, Keshava Pragya Gyan, was his, I don't know the name so well. He was having his appearance day, and Prabhupada had everyone write an offering to his sannyas guru. Okay. Yeah. Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Maharaj. His Holiness Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Maharaj, the sannyas guru. And Prabhupada had all the devotees write an offering, and Prabhupada personally mailed it in honor of his Guru Maharaj. And he was telling the story to the devotees how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was coming in his dreams, and he was encouraging, you follow me, you take sannyas. And Prabhupada said he was horrified. He had no intention or idea of taking sannyas. He was perfectly happy. He was already renounced, body, mind, and words dedicated to the mission of the Lord. He was always thinking how to spread the mission, how to carry out the order of my Guru Maharaj. And so intensely meditating and undergoing, but not losing enthusiasm. Imagine if a few times you're discouraged or put down or not given any little facility, okay, I'm leaving, I had enough. They didn't give me AC in my room, I'm gone. So we have to see how Srila Prabhupada is very, very tolerant and always depending on Krishna, and had great faith in the order of his spiritual master. He felt that others were fighting for personal reasons, for ambition, for followers, for marble temples. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was not so keen on building big temples. Of course, if someone would offer it, very nice. But if you ever get money, print books and distribute these books. And Srila Prabhupada started calculating, okay, the first canto, it'll take 3 volumes, the second canto 2 volumes, and all the way up to the 10th canto, so many volumes. And the 10th canto itself, okay, there'll be 60 volumes. And he thought maybe 5 to 7 years I could finish printing these books, because I cannot come empty-handed. I'm following the Srimad Bhagavatam. We heard this morning, Maharaj, beautiful reading of Prabhupada didn't say, I came to America. He said, I followed Srimad Bhagavatam. I came armed with this knowledge, even though it's the second language, it may not be perfectly composed, but due to the seriousness of the world situation during crisis, people will understand the urgency of this message. So just wonderful how all the books were put on board the Jaladuta, and just imagine how Srila Prabhupada with his rubber little white shoes and umbrella and a tiny little case. If we go for 2-3 days on a weekend somewhere, you got 2 big suitcases, and I've traveled with people like that. Sometimes we don't know how I got to pack this, and I need that, I need this. Imagine Prabhupada came all the way to America with just a little umbrella and just maybe 2 sannyas clothing. He would wash himself, cook for himself, and he was typing on a broken typewriter. So then he was constantly writing, and many times just by hand, writing notes on Bhagavatam, and started his translation work. And all this is piling up. Has no idea who's going to edit it, who's going to be able to help me produce this Srimad Bhagavatam. How will it be distributed, and how will people take this message to heart? So this is the miracle, and for all of us, it's actually said that anyone who's taking up devotional service is very intelligent. So we may not feel ourselves as so intelligent, we're all foolish. Even Srila Prabhupada, out of humility, felt very insignificant beggar. So we should also feel that way, but the truth is to come to the conclusion that what A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, on behalf of the Guru Parampara, especially his spiritual master Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's empowered. And also, he took up the same method of translating by following Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's Bengali, and also Sridhar Swami and Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti, all the great acharyas' books. And so Srila Prabhupada, by the empowerment of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta and his dedication and loyalty and faith, he had great faith, he was empowered, Shakti-Vesha Avatar, to present the Srimad Bhagavatam in English, which he mentioned would save the whole world. The whole world is lost in darkness. And when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati left and the devotees didn't cooperate together to carry on the mission, he felt that again darkness has come. But he felt confident in his relationship with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Not in a proud way. He was just remembering 1932, going to Radhakund and seeing his Guru Maharaj, and you know, when you glance at your Guru Maharaj, or discussion and talking and having intimate relation, to that extent, he was having fond memories, but he was feeling, to some degree, very disheartened. But he also felt the presence of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati in his order. So Srila Prabhupada, in the same way, is giving us the same order, that you, first of all, you take this chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and hear the message of Bhagavatam from the lips of a pure devotee. So Prabhupada is presenting the Srimad Bhagavatam of all the great acharyas, all the pure devotees, not all, but the pure devotees of the Supreme Lord. And so this message is very, very powerful. And simply by this method of chanting Krishna's name, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, by chanting Krishna's name all the time. Whether you're in a good mood or bad mood, good times, bad times, you chant Krishna's name. And whether we understand the potency, or that Krishna is personally present, or the power of the holy name, unlimited spiritual power, still the effect will you take a powerful medicine, you may not know how it's affecting you, but it affects you. So the medicine of Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing and chanting about Krishna. Then as we make some gradual progress, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Anartha Nivritti, we give up bad habits. We should give up our bad habits, because the bad habits are stumbling blocks. They keep us from tasting the message of Krishna or relishing Srimad Bhagavatam. When one is eager to come to the Bhagavatam to hear glorification of Krishna, one is enlivened. When the great devotees are asked to discuss the pastimes of the Lord, they become enlivened because they can glorify Krishna and glorify the process of bhakti and devotion. So this emphasis on book distribution, Srila Prabhupada, he took this same mood of enthusiasm, and as the beginning days of book distribution, you may have read, we started with some Back to Godhead magazines, some incense, and a few quarters would end up in a conch shell. And then a devotee decided they needed gas at a petrol station. So he gave a book to the person and convinced them that this is our payment, the book. And he said, okay, very good. And devotees thought, okay, we could start maybe approaching people with the big books. When I was in Miami Temple Airport, and we were doing Back to Godheads, a lot of Back to Godhead magazines, and some small books. Matter of fact, Srila Prabhupada wrote Easy Journey to Other Planets. He read one scientific journal, and at that time people were into the space travel. The Russians were putting up Sputnik and wanted to go to other worlds, and people were a little bit mesmerized or attracted to this anti-material, other world, spiritual world. So Srila Prabhupada, 38 pages in 2 articles of Back to Godhead, made the easy journey to other planets. And he saw there was so much interest. That was his first little book. But we were saying that in the airport, devotees came down from Chicago who were doing very nice book distribution and gave a nice Sankirtan class. How do we learn anything? From the Guru, from those who are experienced and how to do. So Dharma Prana and others came and they gave us a nice Sankirtan class. So I recorded everything and listened to the Sankirtan message and tried it in Miami airport. And somehow the books were going out and everyone was doing big books, 30, 40, 50, 100 in a day. And then book marathons started, especially in California, Los Angeles. Many devotees started coming up with new techniques. It's based on enthusiasm. Tesham satete yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. And Krishna, those who are dedicated in surrender, Krishna gives them the intelligence. And these mantras were very powerful. I think it was the enthusiasm of the devotees. People may not want a book, but when they see a devotee, he's practically glowing with enthusiasm and wanting to distribute the books for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada was very happy, especially Gopal Krishna Maharaj, of his explanation of when he went to Russia and the different book presentations were there, when Harikesh Swami was in Poland and some of the communist countries sneaking in books, and somehow or other people are hungry to hear. Sometimes a book would be booked by many, many people and they would be read numerous times. So you can imagine how much happiness it brought to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, what to speak of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the 6 Goswamis. And Srila Prabhupada was so happy that the book distribution was being carried out nicely. They said, never in the history of Vaishnava literature have so many books been distributed. And then one devotee said, also the quality of the books, you see how beautiful they are. The books are actually with so many color pictures. And who would ever thought when Prabhupada didn't have a rupee to his name, he could barely print enough to, I think his rent in Vangshi Gopal was 2 rupees a month and 5 rupees a month at Radha Damodar. And then just imagine, and his major cost was postage of printing and distributing the magazines. So now millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands and millions of books were being printed and distributed. So this was the basic focus of the temples and of the Krishna consciousness movement. Let people chant nicely, hear in the association of devotees, and distribute this message of Godhead all over the world. And it's still going on, you see. Book distribution marathons. If you read the international scores, a lot of competition. I think Brindavan's been coming in number 3. We got to pick it up a little bit. But we do we've been doing like 2,000 books a day, all day, every day, and it's picking up, definitely picking up. Prasad distribution is picking up, book distribution is picking up. The kirtan is roaring every day. I mean, really roaring. Sometimes roaring too loud, but still, the enthusiasm is there. So let's keep the kirtan going, the book distribution, and celebrate a wonderful day of Srila Prabhupada's sannyasa initiation. His Holiness Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Ki. So we have a few minutes if anyone has any questions, comments. I just felt the reading was so good, I thought, well, I'll just read a little bit. Oh, it got better, just so many nice things were there, I couldn't replicate it, so I thought at least we should try to read it. Boy, they're really together today, aren't they? Go ahead. I'll repeat it, go ahead.
They have a commentary. Bhagavatam full commentary.
Yeah, full commentary of Bhagavatam. Full commentary.
Prabhupada is modern day Acharya.
Prabhupada, the modern day Acharya.
And he is very much masterful.
Very good.
So how we can see that his incomplete Bhagavatam commentary?
How you can see?
That his incomplete.
Oh, his incomplete. Well, just like it is complete because he empowered his sincere followers to carry on the tradition. See, it's like they ask, why Lord Chaitanya? I mean, he's God himself. Why he didn't just, he could have written the Srimad Bhagavatam. He empowered Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami and Jiva Goswami, and they empowered their followers. Just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he prayed, please send me a powerful messenger. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta appeared, the most erudite scholar of his time. And Srila Prabhupada, he saw Bhaktivedanta Swami, he likes to hear, and he gave him the instruction, you bring this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the English-speaking world. Priti Vitayacha Yadga Nagaradigram Sarvatra Prachara Hoibe Moranam. How will every person all over the world have this message unless it's, brought in this way? So Srila Prabhupada, he was working tirelessly, traveling, translating, preaching, and we may think, oh, he did not complete. But he completed the Bhagavatam by empowering his sincere followers and disciples. Prabhupada said that the GBC, the BBT, these are part of, just like we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, the many branches of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, Dvaitacharya, this one, that one. You think, oh, well, they're all great personalities. So we don't know. We may think, well, we're all insignificant jiva souls, just, somehow we stumbled upon the Krishna consciousness movement and somehow we're groping in the dark. No, Srila Prabhupada, he's like Super Soul, is enlightening his sincere followers and giving them power to do the necessary work. So, in my opinion, Prabhupada finished the Bhagavatam accordingly. So, yes, Prabhu? Turn it on.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very nicely you enlightened about Prabhupada. So just I want to know how you, when you surrender Prabhupada and where?
Yeah, I met Prabhupada in Washington, D.C. for the bicentennial, the 200th anniversary, and I basically served in Miami. In Miami, we were geared on book distribution, hearing and chanting. I can explain further another time, but Srila Prabhupada, he very mercifully gave himself, and as grandfather, he's still available. He's available for everyone. It's not that, only those devotees who took formal initiation, only they're the lucky ones. The grandfather's even more kind to the grandsons. So we all have this wonderful opportunity. We should take very seriously this opportunity that Prabhupada has given us to serve the ISKCON Society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Maharaj, the sannyas danda overrules the regular guys.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the nice class. I was just going to add to what you said. Disciples of Prabhupada ask Srila Prabhupada, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur is so powerful, he could have saved the whole world. And why he did not do it? It's the same thing with Srila Prabhupada. Everything is complete. But then Prabhupada says, he left something for you to do, so you'll get the credit. So it's the same thing that Srimad Bhagavatam, that's, as we can see, he did it till his last breath, but then his followers, his disciples completed, so that they get the credit as well. So many things.
Oh, there's just one little correction to the Lilamrita. When Srila Prabhupada was taking sannyas, he asked Krishnadas Babaji, before the ceremony, he asked Krishnadas Babaji if he would lead the kirtan. And he specifically mentioned that he wanted him only to chant the Maha Mantra.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, it was a wonderful class. But you commented that there's a roaring kirtan there going on. And when the leaders, the lead chanters chanting, he's amplified, it is a roaring kirtan. But when the congregation replies, the instruments are very loud, and you can barely hear the congregation chanting Hare Krishna. I wonder if you could comment on that.
Well, it's always been a challenge trying to whatever allows to in the summertime. It's so sweet, quiet, Kirtan, controls it, can't have big one person songs, and you have to actually, it has to be in a more, I say, reasonable, that people can be more attractive. So sometimes it gets very, very loud. It's not easy to control. That's why, just to let you know for certain, that Janardhan Maharaj, he's in charge of control of the temple room, so I'm going to convert you to Janardhan Maharaj, and you two can adjust the sound things. That's Madhava. Yes. So go ahead. No, it's your turn. Your question.
Hare Krishna.
But it's a good point. We need to work on it, but I've tried for 30 years. It doesn't always work. We'll see.
Prabhupada was very poorly stricken. He was in very poor condition. But now he gave all opulences to his devotees. So everybody in the opulence of, we do not remember Prabhupada that how he was poor stricken. And when I think about him, I feel like crying that how he was doing all these things without any money and anything. Though Krishna's mercy was there. So here now we see Krishna is given unlimited mercy to his devotees. So they can take very nicely and preach Krishna consciousness very well.
Yes, Prabhupada is very kind to all of us. He sometimes said that we have to make nice accommodations because the Westerners may not be used to the rigor of the simple living. Not to justify it, but I'm saying Prabhupada was very, very practical. He understood each and every situation and dealt with it accordingly. And somehow the facility is there, but it should be utilized for the purpose of spreading the Krishna consciousness movement and glorifying Prabhupada's society in a very wonderful way. Jai. Srila Prabhupada Sannyas Initiation Ki. Go Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.